Garrett Show, talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. Truth bombs that many never knew. We talking politics, everything up to the moon. Was the landing real or fake? I guess you'll never know. Let's talk, this is the Nate and Garrett Show, yeah. So lend me your ear, let's get it poppin'. You know that we keep it live, non-stopping. Educating, entertain, there ain't no doubt. After you listen, you'll be thinking way outside the box. From media dishonesty, never let them play you. Keep it authentic nowadays, many can't do. Unfiltered is how we do it. Make sure you stay locked in and tuned in, let's go. Had to come through and let you know. Keep it locked, this is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. The Nate and Garrett Show.
And now, welcome to the Nate and Garrett Show. Prepare yourself to be transported to the furthest reaches of reality. As the hosts unravel the mysteries of the universe, the depths of the deep state, the truth hidden in plain sight, all while bringing you the news from this week. Please welcome your hosts, Nate and Garrett.
Garrett.
All right.
Hi.
Hi, everybody. Well, Nate, did you have a good Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I did. Had a great Thanksgiving.
Yep, nice break. Took a couple days off work.
Yeah.
It's nice to refresh. See family. Did you guys get together? Did
No.
you guys do the big group and everything?
No, just my brother, my mom and dad, and I.
Yep, about the same. We had the nephews and nieces, but we're a little bit careful. We had our grandparents, our extended family. We canceled that. Which is fine. I mean, they're in their 90s, some health issues. So
Yeah.
the people that probably actually should be a little bit concerned.
Right.
We're concerned.
My grandmas are both in care homes or,
Yeah.
community homes, and they don't let them leave, really, so.
Wow, yeah, I bet especially now. Man, that would suck. Did you see, and it's super sad, there's a lady in Canada, so I think euthanasia is legal there, where she actually had assisted suicide because she's sick of the lockdowns.
No way.
Yeah,
Holy
I think it went
shit.
through. I mean, shame on the media for not showing people this, of course. I mean, that's a legit negative to the lockdowns. That's got to be something that, when you look at the positives and the negatives of something like that, you can't just look at the positives. You've got to look at the negatives also. And, and obviously, that's a big cause of this. I think I saw something like Japan or something has had more suicides in the last month than COVID has killed there through the whole COVID epidemic.
Yep,
So
I saw
obviously it's the lockdowns are doing the exact opposite there.
Dude, and speaking just of the old people, they're so isolated and they can't see their families. I think they're killing them. I think they're killing them with loneliness.
Bad. And not even just Cuomo sticking people in nursing homes that are positive. Just the fact that you're not going to see people and everything. And we're seeing people that have memory issues, dementia, Alzheimer's, we're seeing that get way worse. And you can't explain to them what the hell is happening because they're not going to remember it. But we're seeing people's memories get way worse too, which of course causes depression. And, there's definitely some studies out there too, of just about human contact. You need human-to-human contact. People go nuts without it. And it's really sad what's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really messed up. I think it's terrible.
Only gonna get worse, unfortunately. Yeah, 9 months. 9 months to someone in a care home, that could be the rest of their life, and for whatever it is.
Yeah.
So we're protecting them from a virus by making the remaining 9 months just terrible. I mean, they shouldn't. I know COVID's probably not a fun death. It seems like you can't breathe, and it's a terrible way to go. But I'm guessing that not a lot. I think it'd be worse to suffer from loneliness for 9 months and then die of
for sure
more natural cause.
Plus, even if they catch it, it's not a death sentence. Even an old person with 5 underlying conditions, they're still way over 90% survival. 95% plus. I mean,
I have how would I say this? I guess it's my aunt-in-law, I guess you say. She's got dementia. She's in a home, and she got it, and she's supposedly it's really bad with people with dementia. She's at the age group where it is really dangerous. And it was kind of early on, before we knew how survivable this was. And they were worried, but she lived. And
Yeah,
no,
it doesn't kill most people.
Yeah.
Even the very vulnerable will probably be fine. But
we're not meant to be living in a bubble. We're supposed to be getting germs and touching people. What long-term effect is this going to have on people's immune system? You're not supposed to be wearing a mask and not being exposed to stuff. We already know that kids that grow up on a farm with pets and around animals have way less allergies and asthma than people that live in a city that aren't exposed to that. And there's a reason that toddlers and infants and stuff will eat dirt. It's because there's germs in it. It's very important.
This is not the way to do immunity.
No.
So
what a weird time for not only the elderly, but also the toddlers that you can't really explain to what's going on and they can't really grasp it. It's a really weird time.
Yeah, but one guy who's going to be safe is this guy, Garrett.
Can't wait to see it.
This guy's ready. He's ready to fight COVID. Let's watch this. He's got his coffee here.
I love that they're recording this. Like, you're an idiot. But how annoying that he's spraying the stuff in on you anyway.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, in Hot Ontario.
This is so stupid, dude. This is how batshit crazy everyone is.
I would rather get COVID than be drinking this shit he's spraying on you. It's actually going to kill stuff.
Watch this.
Oh, fuck this guy.
See, and somebody honked behind him.
Wow.
Because he takes for fucking ever to
You know where
sanitize
he's
his
going.
coffee.
He's going to his Antifa martial arts training with Kid Slop. They got some caffeine. They're going to be up till midnight if they don't watch out.
Yeah. But this is how crazy shit is, man.
What do you think? Do you think he followed the protocols for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I guarantee he did. I guarantee he followed the protocols.
Especially if he lives in New York.
Yeah.
What about Cuomo? Do you think Cuomo followed the protocols?
I don't think he did.
I think we need to tell somebody.
You're probably right. If he didn't, there's this great number you can call to report your neighbors or anyone who you think didn't follow the protocols. You can call and report them to the government here.
You know what? If you ever do this, stepping back out of character, if you ever do this as someone that's not Cuomo or an official, you could fuck right off. You can go back to Nazi Germany.
Yeah.
But
have you seen the meme that it says, "You did the Reich thing"? As in the Third Reich?
Good. Well, I think we need to call just for the safety of everyone in New York. Because it did get bad in New York, and numbers are surging again.
Yeah,
I think we need to do the responsible thing and let them know that Cuomo was not following his own protocol.
Right. You're probably right, Garrett. So let's go ahead. We'll give this tip line a call here because I don't think Cuomo followed the protocols. So let's see what happens.
Thank you for calling the New York State COVID-19 New York State on Pause Enforcement Task Force Hotline.
Someone needs to let them
If you
know.
are experiencing an urgent medical issue, please hang up and call 911.
Can you hear this, Garrett?
Yep.
This hotline is intended for public complaints regarding potential violations of New York State on Pause.
If you see something, say something.
Businesses. You can also file a complaint online by visiting coronavirus.
So people that do this, by the way, are doing real social justice. Because now businesses aren't going to be getting harassed by the government.
Yeah.
Wow, there's enough people call.
They picked up pretty quick when I called the other day.
There's enough people calling that they actually have an on-hold song.
Yeah. Is this the tip line for COVID complaints?
Yeah.
Okay, so I meant to call earlier, but on Thanksgiving Day, I was driving past Governor Cuomo's mansion, and I saw he had probably 20 cars parked outside. So I did the right thing, and I parked my car, and I got out my binoculars. I probably counted 25 people going in, okay? And this was on Thanksgiving. And I'm looking through the window. I see Governor Cuomo, okay? They got a big turkey. There's probably 25 people there. And he starts coughing. And he's coughing really bad into the air, okay? And then all of a sudden, he leans over and he starts making out with Chris Cuomo. He's got his tongue halfway down Chris's throat. And I'm thinking, that can't be good social distancing. Damn shit.
Well, good. Hopefully
we'll have to call back. We lost the connection.
You must have been a bad connection.
Yeah, bad connection. We'll have to call back later.
Because they do need to know that. It's very important. Especially if he's kissing Chris. We can't be having that.
I know. Well, they can kiss, but he was just coughing, and that's not good for COVID.
But yeah, it was a weird Thanksgiving going back to where it's all, and hopefully we never see another Thanksgiving like this. And with Thanksgivings, obviously, I mean, it's basically impossible to have a real Thanksgiving at social distance.
Dude, what's gonna happen with family? What's gonna happen with Christmas?
It's the exact same. And they acted like, you probably saw Zoom. I get that the businesses have to survive, and this is Zoom's time to shine. They're getting filthy rich off everyone else's misery, but they're trying to do the whole. It's better to have a Zoom Thanksgiving than an ICU Christmas. Just because there's no way people are getting back together for Christmas, of course. I mean, that's already out the window.
A Zoom Thanksgiving. Fuck yeah. I mean, I guarantee that's just the worst shit ever.
They did the right thing by making over 45-minute calls free or some stupid thing. I don't use Zoom, so I don't know. But, they try to act like they were the woke people. They're doing the good. So why can't you guys? We're giving a free phone call. Why can't you guys shut your businesses down for 9 months? It's that easy. Although even though our evaluation is probably, I don't know, tenfold what it was a year ago at this time, I bet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unbelievable, man.
It's funny that it's these businesses that are making big money off of this pandemic are the ones that are trying to spread the message of we're in this together, you selfish piece of shit, essentially. And people fall for it. We have half the nation, 51% or whatever, basically falling for it and fighting for it, really.
Yeah. Dude, it's hard not to see a conspiracy theory behind the decimation of the middle class, destroying all small businesses, all the super wealthy are making money hand over fist.
Yeah, telling everyone else to be responsible. Come on.
Oh, man. Yeah, lecturing us at the same time. It's just really crazy to me.
Did you see any of the, apparently that Macy's Day Parade for Thanksgiving is a big deal. Did you see any of that?
No, I didn't.
I never watch the parades anyway. I think it's a weird thing, but people seem to love it. But Verizon went and tried to do like a event, and they followed it. And it was just, there's some awkwardly terrible parts to it. They have, instead of just having the normal background noise, because there's usually people cheering and like bands playing and stuff, they have this looped, it seems like a free-form song that's not a licensed song that sounds kind of holiday-ish, and it's just looped the whole time. And you could tell the people dancing and stuff don't know when to go and when not to go. You should always pull it up and play a couple pieces of it, because it's just kind of awkward. Okay. If you go to YouTube, just type in like Verizon Thanksgiving Day Parade. It should come up. And it's nothing mind-blowing. But they got some weird stuff like go to Verizon's. Go up a little bit. I think we might have missed it. What's the one with the big Pikachu right there?
Stream of the.
I think this.
Continuing the show now. Pikachu is a character we all know and love, and he's making his 20th.
This isn't the one.
Who is this? Is this Mario?
I think so.
That's Slater right there?
I think so.
Yeah, he just looked kind of weird to me. What the hell's this?
This is it, basically. This is what it was. I
got a full
guiding these. It's kind of Christmassy music, but it's not.
All right. Here's a bunch of... Dude, 2020 better be the last year I see these fucking masks on everybody's face. It's so weird to me. Look at this.
I know.
All of this seems like propaganda to me.
Yeah. Speaking, I got a different one to show you after this. Basically, the media gaslighting everybody.
AC Slater. That's right, Miggles.
But yeah, it's kind of this, and then they have fake floats too that are CGI, and they're acting like they're not. Kind of. They have like people under them, like they're watching these floats go by.
But
they're fake floats.
Okay, yeah, that's perfect. That's quintessential weirdness for this year. Get out of the shot, lady!
The whole thing's like this. It looks like it's behind the scenes, and it's not. And there is some hilarious kind of moments because of this. You can tell performers don't know when to perform and when not to, and when to walk and when not to walk. And you got these people guiding them around. That's part of the parade.
That parade reminded me of that Goddard tunnel opening I showed you. Remember that? This is very similar, so let's just show this real quick. Let's see. Bizarre ceremony.
Because this is a couple of years ago, right? I haven't seen this in years.
Benefiting too.
It was 2017.
Been without opposition.
Oh, I can't find the one that showed it. But it was just basically the weirdest shit ever for a tunnel opening.
I bet Q had a heyday with that.
Yeah. Just saying how weird it is. Well, fuck it.
So, you have the media, not the media, but they're trying to act. I love that when they act like, it's okay, we'll just change shit up. Here, Verizon's going to show this whole new parade. I love when that flops. I hope all this
Me too.
fake shit flops. So the Cowboys, of course, played football on Thanksgiving, and there's a halftime show, and they try to act like this guy was performing his halftime show and act like it was live. They had masks and stuff, and it wasn't live. There's videos you can find of people at the stadium, like with their phones recording, going, "Where the hell is it? Where is it? They're telling you guys this is live, and it's not." I think it's more of the media basically
weird.
trying to act like this is normal. Yeah.
What the hell?
Yep. So I love seeing stuff like that flop.
Yeah, and you know what? So much of this stuff is flopping.
Yes.
Which I like that. Look at this. Look how fucking stupid everyone is. What do these masks do? They're breathing. They're breathing the air. They're blowing in their horns. Why do they need a mask?
I'm guessing that is a mask as a slit so they can play their instruments. So basically no mask at all. Is that what I mean?
Yeah. It's just to show that they support wearing masks.
This is a virtue signal. This is not following science. There's no science there.
No one can say that. It's really similar to the guidelines of wearing a mask, take a bite of your dinner, put the mask back on.
I was just going to bring that up. There's some states now that you have to, right? You're supposed to put your mask back on.
California, I don't know if you have to, but it's definitely recommended in California.
I think you have to in some states now.
You probably do.
Yeah, there's no science behind that at all. That is just a virtue signal.
It's virtue signal. It's also the worst form of power I've ever seen. Holy fuck. I can't even eat my meal. I have to pretend to wear a mask in between bites.
Speaking of power, you probably saw Cuomo, or buddy Cuomo, that we need to call later and report him again.
Yeah, we're going to have to
But he was talking about there's some sheriffs and stuff. They're basically saying these are unconstitutional. We're not going to enforce these. Do you see where he's calling them mini dictators?
Yep. Yeah, he called them dictators for not enforcing his dictatorship.
Enforcing the biggest dictatorship that we've seen in a state probably ever, maybe.
Yeah. I've never seen someone be called a dictator for not enforcing laws.
Yes. Isn't that really weird?
It's pretty good. It's pretty smart. It's pretty smart, double speak by him, Stupid people will go, yeah, that is dictatorial.
Yeah, it's we got to vote these guys out of here.
Yeah. And thank God for sheriffs like that, though.
One of our listeners, I think it was Crack Party, before the election was talking, and he said, you guys are going to laugh at me, but New York's going red. And they obviously didn't. But I think, we'll have to look it up, I think Trump only lost New York by 13 points. And I mean, that sounds like a lot, but Ohio, he was supposed to lose, won by 8 or 9 points. We're only 4 points away from New York going red. What they're doing to the Jewish community there I think seriously, in the lockdowns and everything, and a lot of people fleeing the state, I can see that starting to actually turn into a bit of a swing state. They try to act like Texas being a swing state was this monumental, game-changing thing. And Texas wasn't a swing state. It was probably, I'm guessing, about that 8 points too.
Yeah.
But New York, it would be a game changer if New York was actually a swing state, and I would not be too surprised in a few years. It is after everything that's happening.
Well, if we have another election in our lifetime, that would be great. Honestly, we're going to be under the control of the UN and the WHO in an emergency COVID lifetime. You know, I mean,
especially if they found fraud in the election. Can you imagine that if Trump was basically saying, "Look, I won, I'm not leaving"? You know, there'd be people talking about the UN, would be talking about coming in because they couldn't do their agenda. It's the UN's agenda that's going on.
But luckily, our army would be able to defeat the entire UN. UN doesn't even have an army, but
yeah, that's the U.S. Army's propping up the rest of the world on the U.S.'s tax dollars and lies, unfortunately.
Yeah, right. But man,
yep, our last show we showed Fallon Fox beating up that girl.
Yeah.
So over the Thanksgiving break in Russia, the female population decided enough was enough, and they got some revenge.
Oh no! What's
this? You got to play this video. You got to play from beginning to end.
Okay.
We got a male versus female MMA fight. Game changing, first one ever, male other than Fallon Fox lying to people. The top one there.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, this one, I see. What the fuck is this?
Make this full screen.
What is this, dude? Wow.
Look at Lito's entrance. I'm blocking it. He's basically rolling around on the ground.
So this is in Russia?
Слушай, мои команды, после команды стоп не работаем.
Why do I feel like this chick is gonna beat the fuck out of this dude?
Because he's such a athlete. He doesn't even need to wear shorts. He's longer power anyway.
God, he's gonna win, isn't he?
Подстреливает руками сейчас. Дарина пытается не подпустить этого амбала к себе. Делает все абсолютно правильно, но зажимает Гришу ее
Smash her!
Ой-ой-ой,
Sit on her!
Ведь он может просто ее завалить и задушить своим животом. Я не знаю, как это еще назвать. Не так просто ей приходится, но посмотрите, отбивается. Самое главное, она сделала, она отошла от сетки, она сейчас не зажата. Какое необычное зрелище мы сейчас наблюдаем, это пугает, будем честными.
This is the UFC I need to be betting on, dude. These are the fights I want to see.
I want to take an odds on this.
400-pound guy versus a woman. We need more stuff like this.
She's like 130 pounds, I think you weighed in that. Right, here's where it gets exciting.
All right.
Рефери разнимает бойцов, даже непонятно как
Those punches are
называть.
nothing.
Наверное, да, правильно будет все-таки говорить бойцов из уважения. К Дарине Маздюк, очень отчаянная девушка. Ой, пропускает в голову! Срубает Гришу, полное ТВ, добивание в партере! Близко к финишу, Дарина! От того, чтобы выиграть этот исторический бой, но рефери не торопится останавливать, потому что огромные плечи.
Punches, man.
Стучи,
Гриша,
остановка боя.
Get ready to pause this. Keep going, but get ready to pause
Вот
this.
в этом странном бою Дарина победила.
Pause. Okay, go back just a little bit.
With her foot on him?
Look at this picture. This is obviously a WWF type thing.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. There's no way.
It's like she's a hunter that shot a rhino. He's still. Can you imagine this is a real fight? And those really knocked him out cold. Instead of giving him medical attention, she goes and puts his foot on his chest. And her team's taking pictures.
Dude, he threw that fight. He could.
Well, this picture shows it's not even a throw. This is just a WWE event.
Right, just a funny little thing. But yeah. my point is, if that had been a real fight, he would have crushed that girl.
Oh yeah. Even though he's obviously not athletic in the least.
Like I gave her a chance when I started watching it, because he's 400 pounds. But then it was very clear if that was a real fight, he would have just crushed her.
And you also assume she knew how to throw a punch, but it's pretty easy to tell right away that she's an actress.
Yeah,
not a fighter.
Those punches had to be tickling him. Really?
Yeah, but I can't get enough of that. With her with his foot up on him. Does that remind you of the UFC 1, though, when Keith Hackney actually fought a sumo wrestler?
Yeah, well, it reminds me of the big, weird matchups from UFC 1.
Yeah, they had Emmanuel Yarborough versus Keith Hackney, who they later called the Giant. We have it in that email if you do want to show it. I don't think it's a very long fight, but it's just kind of interesting because this was back when nobody even knew how to fight back then. We had a bunch of people in karate gyms and stuff thinking they knew how to fight, but they just didn't. The only people that really knew how to fight were boxers and wrestlers, really, at this time, and nobody knew.
Yeah.
And so you have this guy this is back when the UFC was awesome, style versus style, and you got this guy that basically sumo versus this brawler, and it's kind of a fun fight. It's kind of UFC history and stuff because they can't do this now because of weight classes and government got this is illegal now.
Dude, you know.
She
go ahead.
She actually had some stuff that kind of looked like this. Hers is an act, of course, but this one wasn't. He knocked his teeth out, and it was a pretty good fight.
Yeah, we'll show it. But you know what's funny? Because just like you say, we didn't know back then, and you had that was a time in history that will never happen again. From now on, everyone knows what good fighting is. But for this little 10-year period, we had a guy with one boxing glove.
Art Jimmerson. Art Jimmerson. When he showed up to UFC 1, he was a professional boxer. So when I say boxers are going to be really good against the general public and the guys in the karate gyms, but they're going to get crushed by a grappler or a wrestler. I guess there's only wrestling back then in the U.S. anyway. He's going to get crushed by them. But he showed up to the rules meeting. They told him. They said, all right, there's no tape, no gloves, can't bring anything in. He raised his hand. He's like, what? I can't wear my gloves. And it was Hoist's family. And he fought Hoist first round. And they just kind of laughed and said, go ahead, wear your gloves. So he wore one. And Hoist just did Hoist wasn't nearly as good at takedowns like a wrestler was. So he did a shitty single leg. Just got on top, and Art Emerson just tapped right away. This is a professional boxer.
Right. He was on his back. That's funny.
But you kind of made up a good point, though. Fighting from here on out to the end of civilization has changed forever. Yeah. Because of the communication age, we were able to find out what works and what doesn't. You take the toughest guy in history to ever live, the best fighter ever, pre-2000, all the way back pre-biblical times.
Tank Abbott.
And these guys, the modern guys, a mediocre guy would kill any of those guys. He'd just destroy them.
Right.
A mediocre UFC fighter right now could be transported to any time in history and be the best fighter alive. Because the information age shows that they have it down to a science now.
Yeah.
It's wrestling.
What works, what's important to know.
Boxing. Yeah. And it's morphed into one fighting. That's why fighting's kind of boring now. Everyone's got the exact same tool set. Where back here, it wasn't. Everyone had one specialty, and you got to find out what it was.
Yeah, and they were going up against each other. It's a karate guy versus a sumo wrestler.
Just like
shit
religion.
Like that was so great.
Oh, it's great. And just like religion, you got people still living the dream. That I shouldn't say just like religion. I should say just like very beliefs that take a lot of you just feel and you're going to ignore the science on. You still got people in karate gyms and taekwondo gyms that don't believe it. Think, oh, my instructor before his injury would smash the liver of John Jones and John Jones would die.
Yeah. Did you see the recent, it was a couple years ago, but an MMA guy fights a Chinese kung fu master?
This Chinese guy, they had to bring him into hiding because the Chinese were trying to kill him over this.
Oh no, really?
Yep.
This is the guy that fights him, so we'll see if we can find him.
I mean, I'm not taking anything away from this guy because he actually went out there and said, this is bullshit. But if you would put this guy against an amateur fighter here in the United States, he's going to get killed. This just shows how far along fighting has come. That you can take a guy who's lower level MMA versus these Chinese masters. And yeah, this guy, they had to bring this guy, they had to put him in hiding.
Yeah, this is just an amateur MMA Chinese fighter, and he faces a Kung Fu level 50 Chinese master. And let's see how it goes, Garrett. Maybe it's probably pretty close. It's probably
this guy's a master. You can tell by how he stays. He stays like a tiger form.
So this is going to be a good fight. That was it. That was actually the whole fight.
And every time. That's going to happen 100 out of 100 times.
Yeah, it's more vicious than some other videos I've seen. He pounds him for a while. But anyway.
Did you see the one where there's a martial arts master that was claimed to be like 5,000 wins, 0 losses, and he's doing like this, and people are falling over, and he threw out a bet for like $10,000, and I could beat up any MMA guy, and the guy took him up on it and beat the crap out of him. Did you see that one?
I don't know.
That was in the U.S., I think it was. You could put like
how could I find
MMA versus Kung Fu, and it'd probably come up.
Okay.
Yeah, just do that. See what comes up. And scroll down. You don't do MMA versus fake martial arts. Maybe that will work. Fake martial art.
They keep showing this poor guy.
They do. This one. Bullshit Aikido master versus reality.
Okay.
And I'm guessing we're going to have to watch this whole thing. But it just shows him doing BS martial arts.
So this was a 10K.
You know what? Show a little of this.
Okay.
So people are paying this fucking guy.
Oh, they're pretend all three fighting this guy right here?
Yes. People pay this guy to teach them martial arts.
Dude, see, before UFC 1, people just thought this was real. You know?
What do you think this is? Is it
mass hypnosis?
I was just going to say, do you think it's mass hypnosis? That's the only excuse for these guys. Or these guys are sorry excuses of people, really.
You know, it really is. It's like the coach, the authority guy, they kind of know that they don't want to throw him down. And he has convinced them that he has chi energy and shit. And it's just like a guy. I don't know. Is it hypnosis? But they go with it. Are they completely faking, or do they believe, or what?
That's the only excuse I could think of. Seriously, that is redeeming for these people. Because if you're out there fake getting beat up by this old guy, not really getting touched, not only are you're just selling it, you're scamming people. You're selling into that scam, and shame on you for that.
Yeah.
You know, this isn't even the one I'm talking about. I can already tell. This is just that common, that this still happens just over and over.
And
people are still deluding themselves and saying Bruce Lee would be a champion in the UFC if he was still alive. The guy was great for his time, mainly an actor, an athletic one, but still, and he working with what he had available at the time isn't fair, because it did seem like he knew that wrestling and boxing had to be added to Kung Fu and stuff, or Jeet Kune Do, I guess is kind of his. But the simple fact is if you had a time machine to bring him here now, and it's not his fault, it's just the time, it just you did not know how good jiu-jitsu was.
Right. And
if
every
you're a parent,
pro fighter has all the great tools now.
If you're a parent, get your kids into Brazilian jiu-jitsu now in a legit gym. If you're an able-bodied adult, go and take jiu-jitsu. It's the only martial art.
Yeah.
It's not the only. It's the easiest martial art to learn how to defend yourself and not mess up your head and not hurt to go to. You should definitely go. Because 99% of males, for whatever reason, overestimate their ability to fight. Nobody really knows how to fight. If you go and if you get to a white belt with one stripe, so your kids that you sent to karate that had a black belt at the age of 10, they went through the belts that fast, think of white belt, one stripe. So we're talking not even a fourth of the way to the blue belt, which is the first belt. He is a shark walking amongst a group of seals, really. I mean, when you talk to the average person, that's how good jiu-jitsu is, and everyone should do it.
Yeah, I think
you
so
hear
too.
people say, "Oh, but you don't know, man. When I get mad in a fight, I just black out and I see red." No, you don't. And if a wrestler or jiu-jitsu, they're just going to mount you and have their way with you. You have zero chance. I don't care how mad you get, how much adrenaline you have.
Yep. It's not going to do shit for you against someone with training.
And we should do a show. He's a full show on scam martial arts. Let's call it what it is. This is scamming people. They're scamming people for a lot of money. And they're scamming adults. They're scamming adults' children. It's giving people a false sense of security. Someone comes and grabs this guy's wallet.
Yeah, like, look at this.
He could do this.
How dumb is this?
Put on his hand. How dumb is everyone following him? If it is mass hypnosis, shame on you.
What is
Be
it?
mentally stronger.
It's hard to explain that they could all fall for it. And then, later they'll be talking, wow, Master Chi is so great. I couldn't get close to him.
I've been in martial arts for 20 years. And unfortunately, it took me 10 years to find real martial arts. I didn't know. I grew up in a small town, and I just knew that martial arts was cool. And I didn't know. I had no access to it. Even if I did know, I had no access. But I've been to these gyms. I know how it is. And they all have this instructor that will never spar. They don't any do real sparring anyway. It's all kind of what we see there.
Right.
They do the
dancing.
Thing.
Yeah.
So, that would have broken your collarbone. And then they stop it. And point red.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see a point. No point. So that's what it's. But they all have these stories of their instructor. Oh, you don't want to mess with Shihan back in the day before he hurt his back. He would kill these guys in the UFC. He'd shatter their livers.
He'd just give them a double pressure point and knock them out. No.
You hear it in every single one, and I'm sure that's how these guys make their living. They have to be bigger than life, and this guy will mess you up. No, he wouldn't.
Yeah.
I'll go to a high school and find a middle-of-the-road wrestler, and he will destroy him at his prime.
For sure.
It's people didn't look at wrestling for whatever reasons, the martial art, and obviously we know now it is. I mean, you could make the argument it's as good as Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu and all of them.
Super important.
If you're not doing wrestling, Muay Thai, boxing, or judo, you're wasting your time.
Yeah, and Jiu-Jitsu.
Yep. I think the average public, that is the one, because you're not hit in the head like boxing and stuff, and wrestling's not fun because a lot of it really is a lot of conditioning. You're gonna have a hard time dragging yourself to go to wrestling if you're a 35-year-old guy that just got off done with his office job.
And they kind of don't even have it for old guys.
Yeah, they don't have adult wrestling. It's really hard. I tried to find a tournament.
But Jiu-Jitsu is very similar.
Yes.
In a lot of ways.
It's just, you take out the pin and
you
add submission.
add some chokes and some arm bars and shit. Yeah. Jiu-Jitsu and wrestling are very similar.
Yes, absolutely.
And
you can tell
both great.
Very related. They came from the same source. They modified wrestling to have it more.
Yeah. It's real fighting is what it is.
Yes. Yep, exactly. You could go 100% at somebody and not get hurt and show up the next day.
Yeah.
And you know if you get better or not.
Yep.
Yeah, but we should do a show just on the fake martial arts.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, I took I'm actually a certified acupuncture. I'm actually a diplomat in acupuncture.
Cool.
And I took this class because I didn't believe in it. But I had just patient after patient after patient coming by and just swearing about it. So I went to the acupuncture and said, "Hi, I'm Dr. So-and-so. I want to see what this is about." And I had a terrible cough, so they did some acupuncture, and it kind of seemed to help. I have no idea if it's timing or not. So I tried to kind of get into it and ask him. It's a guy from China. He grew up in China. His family brought him here. And I tried to ask him, like, so what the heck is actually happening? And he really wouldn't give me an explanation. He just kind of learned from his dad. He didn't really have any training. So he had a son that was born here. And I kind of went and asked him. And he's like, well, if you believe in the meridians, it's this. I'm thinking, what in the hell? So I thought, you know what? I'll go to a medical acupuncture class. And I'll just get certified. It counts as my continuing education. It'll be interesting. Cool. When I first went there, they kind of got me hooked. They started with talking about like different clinical stuff they saw and what they did. I'm like, that sounds kind of cool. What are they going to tell us how this work? And they just got into how it worked. And it is just crazy. It's crazy. Seriously, talk about these meridians. They can't explain where they came from. And you put needles here, and for some reason it ups your chi here and lowers your chi. And it's a science. Like, you have people that take Chinese medical school here in the U.S. It takes 7 years to get through because it's that crazy. And at the end, and I'm kind of like, at the time, I'm sitting here with all these other professionals. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Studies are starting to show it might help. I saw a study on fertility. Like if you go to a fertility specialist, and if you go to a fertility specialist and an acupuncturist, you're more likely to get pregnant. Like they know that. If you go
it doesn't surprise me to hear that.
Yeah, if you go to like the AMA and look it up, they even has it there. I'm thinking, so there's got to be something to this. And at the very end of it, the instructor was talking about, like, I used to take a group of people to China every year, all my students, it'd be fun, and we go do this. And he started talking martial arts, and he started talking about the fake martial arts, the chi balls and stuff. And one of them was actually a guy that's halfway famous on YouTube that we can actually show on this. And it ruined it completely. I'm like, oh, I just wasted 100 hours and thousands of dollars. And seriously, it threw the legitimacy out the window.
Well, when you started talking about acupuncture, I thought you were going to say that you learned that it had to deal with the nerves, nerve ganglion and shit like that.
I've tried to go and salvage, I guess, my investment by reading some more like Western medicine books trying to explain it. And it's got some pretty interesting thoughts on it. And there is stuff about
I think there might be something to it. I don't understand it. I don't think it's complete martial. I think a lot of people that are into it, maybe they're full of shit, but some people might know what's going on.
So supposedly it started with like somebody in ancient China, wherever, got shot with an arrow and lived. So they take the arrow out and it heals, and the guy's migraines are gone. That's supposedly
really. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. I could believe it.
So like, they found, it is really old. Anything that's survived as long as acupuncture is kind of crazy. They found like mummies, like thousands-year-old mummies that have tattoos of basically following the meridians. So there is some weird stuff if you look into it.
Yeah.
But there isn't a good explanation for me of where the meridians come from. And like some of them are just like, this guy was because you've probably heard of hand acupuncture. That came because this guy who was supposedly really good at acupuncture was meditating on it one day and really thinking, and he looked at his hand and saw if he changed his hand like this, it looks like the head and the arms and the feet. So if somebody has knee pain, you put a needle right here and it'll take away their knee pain. That's seriously basically what hand acupuncture is.
Weird. So I've never heard of that.
It can't convince me. But there's some new meridians. Like if you told me these guys were shamans, like took DMT and blasted out of their minds and the universe told them, I would more likely believe it.
Yeah, I would believe it more if you told me that.
Yeah. They got some cool stories, and you could read people that say that swear by it and say it changed their life and stuff. But it reeked a little bit too much of like the traditional martial arts. But
yeah, that's interesting.
So we'll have to do a show. We spent 20 minutes on this topic probably now. We will have to do a show just on scam martial arts and how people fall for it, how ridiculous it is, really.
Yeah, we should. And I remember that you introduced me to the term martial LARPing.
Did I really?
Yeah, I remember you saying that back in the day.
I used to be a member of a forum called Bullshido, because once jiu-jitsu started coming out, it kind of got big with the UFC, because people finally found out, like, oh, this is what jiu-jitsu is. I would say that's the first martial art when, like what was it, like when The Ultimate Fighter came out, became like a household name on Spike TV, and you had like Forrest Griffin, those guys. Like jiu-jitsu was back then. If you knew jiu-jitsu, you were winning. If you didn't know, you were losing. So around the world, people kind of thought it was going to be like a Taekwondo black belt where there's no lineages, you can't check it. Well, they messed up, because the first black belt ever was still alive until about 10-ish years ago, and everybody that's a black belt could tell you their lineage. It's only 1 or 2. Now it's probably 3, maybe 4 people removed, but it wasn't back then. So a lot of people would go and fake being a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and they would try to go and open up schools and join like the local Ys. And we were a task force that found these guys out and tried our best to make their lives hell. Like if it was around, like, who do we got in Central Cincinnati? We got a fake black belt here. And so we were like, oh, I'm a purple belt. I could head down there. And they'd go down there and film it.
Beat the shit out of them, kind of. Wrestle.
Yeah. Brazil, unfortunately, there's a lot of poor areas in Brazil, and jiu-jitsu it's getting a little bit better. But it used to be kind of like a middle class, upper middle class, because the Jordan gym, it's sometimes $200 a month, not counting the gi and stuff. It's kind of expensive. So there's a lot of money to be made. It kind of started, the Bullshido webpage is probably still there, but it started becoming bad because what would happen? Somebody would fake a black belt, and in the facts, people would yell at them and go and fight them and stuff. But then there'd be a money-hungry black belt moving here from Brazil, and they would basically join their group, basically, and they'd pay a franchise fee, and then they'd basically say, I'm a black belt under this guy. And you go to that black belt, and he's like, oh, I believe him. He told me he's a black belt, and he seems to know his stuff. And
so now it's out of control. There's shitloads of black belts. It's a little
bit, yeah. And now you have different gyms that promote differently. Because really, it used to be 8 to 10 years of 3 times a week, no weeks off, to become a black belt. Now, because people are sandbagging so much in tournaments, because tournaments actually mean a lot, it's closer to 15 or 16 years now, really, to be a black belt. And you think about that, these fake martial arts, you're a black belt in a year or two in karate, taekwondo, all of those. You're not even a blue belt in a lot of gyms now. That's the first belt. So it goes white, blue, purple, brown, black. And it's a purple belt's extremely rare. I mean, a few years ago, if you were a purple belt, you were kind of a legend in your local area.
Yeah. They're really fucking good at jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. So people should enroll their kids in martial arts. I'm waiting for my daughter to turn 4. She's going to join on her 4th birthday. And I think every able-bodied male should at least know how to do it, really.
I do, too. I think it's extremely valuable.
Yep. If nothing else, it's a great exercise, and you learn what fighting really is, because 99% of people think they're good fighters, and they're not. It's laughable.
Well, let's switch subjects, Garrett, and I want to show this crazy fucking video.
Before we do it, I want to get to one more thing. We showed the triumph of females over males last one. Did you hear there's a female kicker over the weekend, too?
Oh, okay. So what is
college, this? She's in the SEC. It's Vandy. I want you to play this video.
All right.
And this poor girl, I'm not laughing at the girl, by the way. I'm laughing at the woke crowd here.
Female kicker. See, I don't know what this is. I don't know what I'm about to
This poor girl, you can tell she's nervous, and she's probably really good. She can better than I can. I just want you to hear it, because it's just, I won't say anything. Just watch it.
So this is college football.
It's college football. This is Vandy.
College football. Vanderbilt Commodores coming back onto the field. They will kick off to start the second half, and Sarah Fuller will kick off for Vanderbilt.
I feel bad for her, because the way you're talking, she must kick it in the fucking sideline right away.
Game and a Power 5 football game. And there she is, wearing number 32, her soccer jersey number, and just 6 days ago was winning an SEC soccer tournament championship in Orange Beach, Alabama. And wouldn't you know it, history is on the field in Columbia, Missouri, as Sarah Fuller is about to put her right foot into a football, speaking volumes to women around the world.
Awesome.
This is a big deal, I guess.
Everybody understands what's happening right now. This is a pretty cool moment.
And the kick down at the 35-yard line, and Sarah
What the
Fuller.
fuck? Was that a pass? Was that a soccer pass?
Just play it out. I want you to hear the.
What a day. What a day in college football. Her mom and dad on hand to witness it. Her boyfriend, her best friend.
They just aren't going to mention that it was a terrible kick.
You, David? I got chills, man. That was.
These guys
cool.
have to be
awesome to see.
I feel bad laughing about this. The girl's super nervous. This happens to NFL kickers where they fuck up. It happens all the time. But I guess a lot of the NFL guys were like tweeting, acting like it's the biggest thing. I'm all about inclusiveness, but that seemed to be like they gave up about 15, 20 yards there.
Yeah.
I mean, they got killed. I think they don't have a win. That feels more like a media stunt. And I think I'd be a little bit insulted if I was a female where it's just like, okay, this is a terrible college team. let's do something like, I don't know, let's pick up a female kicker real quick.
Dude,
so what they're trying to say is, this is the beginning, opening the second half. They're down. They're trying to say the coach told her to do a squib kick. It's basically telling her the coach told her to do that.
I doubt it.
There's no way. But that, if you go and read the comments, everyone's like, people don't know what the hell they're talking about. She listened to what her coach said.
Like, why would they do that? Why would it be a squib kick?
There's no reason to do that opening up a second half. But like I said, I don't want to make fun of her. It's not her fault.
Well, she did a terrible job on her first kick. I'll say that. That was a kick for all women.
That's like just kind of rubbed me wrong. They're kind of like, oh, what a big day.
Wow, I got chills. Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, here's another thing about that. Look, yeah, great, whatever. But do they think girls are going to be playing football? Because maybe one kicker here or there. But you want a female running back? She's going to get killed.
We just saw a 130-pound girl just beat up a 500-pound male. I don't know what you're talking about.
All of a sudden, we're going to have female linebackers? I doubt it.
Gender is not real, Nate. You don't know that.
You're right, Garrett. I'm just living in the past.
I'll bet Grandpa Nate.
Right now, Alabama's the best team in college football. Probably they've got a few female linebackers, female center, quarterback's female. Get the fuck out of here. You know
what? If she was there for merit, that is a cool moment. If she really is. But
maybe some woman can be the best kicker in the world. All right, what do I know?
Maybe it is her. That's one kick.
Yeah.
But it's just the fake bravado that I feel like I had to show you that.
Yeah, that's funny. It was funny to watch. Okay, let's show this weird fucking video. Oh, we forgot to watch this. Should we show this?
Sure. It's like kind of a quick one.
Yeah.
It's just kind of interesting because
he does. He's got to stay away.
Here they go.
Taylor Tooley took a beating. It lasted about 2 minutes. Get Gerard Gordeau in UFC 1. That was the last team we got.
That was a good punch.
Here he goes.
Now he's on top and stuck.
That is not what you want to do.
Run.
Be quick. He's got to be quick. He should get out of there. He's got to get out of the corner.
And through the other gate.
UFC was so much better back then. That is awesome.
600 pounds.
Push him out the ring.
I got another Keith Hackney fight I've got to show you. It gets into real history.
If you think about it, Ben, that is ultimate sumo.
That was interesting. He tried to do an old type of choke with both of his fists on the inside of his neck in Yarborough. It's really interesting. It's very difficult to pull that off.
I can't emphasize this enough. Yarborough was coming with
They had no idea how to choke back then. He's talking about doing like what they call a rape choke now.
Right. See, like stuff like that. We just didn't know what was effective and what wasn't.
He has to move. Really get. He's got to cut off the ring. Yarborough has to really cut the ring off. But it's very difficult. He's such a big man.
Keith is also known for his low leg kicks. Low leg kicks.
Big
I
is
don't
this
think he
dude?
can hurt him with the kick. I don't think he can hurt him with the leg.
Sure you can hurt him.
I don't think he can
I
get
could drop this guy with a kick. Leg kick. That's ridiculous.
Finally got the leg.
Don't hurt him.
Can't hurt him. Guy's dead. Punches the back of the head.
He broke the shit out of his hand on this guy. He couldn't continue. I think he was up against Boys Crazy next. These were tournaments. These were one-night tournaments.
Keith desperately trying to take out Emmanuel. He doesn't have any chokeholds, Ben. It's obvious. He doesn't have any submission holds.
He's trying to wear him down. Emmanuel,
he just gave in. Emmanuel just tapped out.
A big man like that.
So go type in. So that's Keith Hackney. Type in Keith Hackney Josan. Do you know which one I'm showing you here? Mm-hmm. Yeah, there it is, the top one. It's his most famous fight.
I remember this.
So this is back.
Here we go.
Very well before with his opponent
straight to the action.
And he lands to the midsection of Josan.
Even after.
Keep working. That is allowed in this competition.
UFC was so much better. What do you think of that, Garrett?
Josan has not broken the lock yet.
2,000 right
There it is. It's broken now. Watch for Hackney to strike.
Did that guy have kids after this?
So that's Joe San. That is the guy in Goldfinger. What was the fake? What was the
Odd
you know what I'm
Job?
talking about? He was the one that throws the shoe.
Oh, in Austin Powers?
Austin, thank you. The Austin Powers that throws the shoe. That's actually him. Well, he got caught and kind of like an assault type of thing. And they said, that wasn't me. They said, all right, we're going to do a DNA test then. We have DNA. I said, okay. Does a DNA. They run it through their program. Turns out he was a serial rapist.
Yeah.
And these unsolved rapes from way back when. And now he's serving like life in jail.
Dude, how funny is that he's the guy that ends up getting punched in the dick a bunch? There's karma.
Before that fight, like he was like supposed to be an uber religious guy. He would like be like, through the power of Jesus Christ, I can't lose tonight. And he's got some really funny interviews like that too.
Holy shit. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
You know, another quick UFC giant, if you want to watch it, was Tila Tooley. And this one versus Gerard Gordeau.
Tila Tooley. How the fuck
Maybe start typing in Gerard Gordeau. It might be easier. Yeah, there it is. So this is the one where this is UFC 1 too. He actually went on to fight Royce Gracie. I'll tell you about that after this one. But this is a quick one too, and it's kind of a funny one because this is like a sumo guy.
30 seconds.
And they go. I think there'll be a lot of stalking.
Dude, UFC 1 was the best.
It's awesome.
I love this shit.
This is going to play an important part of this. Kathy, what do you think? Let's go.
Woo!
He knocked the crap out of his teeth there.
He did.
So he went on to fight Royce Gracie next round. And so there were no rules that you couldn't fish hook or eye gouge, but they wouldn't stop the fight. They'd just fine you, but you could still do it. So he was fighting Royce, and Royce had him doing a choke, and he bit Royce. And Royce started holding on to him. And he goes, he bit me. And he goes, so? So when they went to break it up, he's tapping himself. Royce wouldn't let go. So he's like tapping a bunch of times.
Should we show that?
But he's kind of a bastard. Because he went on to fight a guy named Jason DeLucia and gouged his eyes and permanently blinded the guy.
Oh my god, dude, what?
So here's the
But so he bites him in this fight, huh?
Respect each other a great deal.
Can you imagine if biting had been common back in even UFC 1? If people are biting each other, you'll rip chunks out of a dude, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
That'd be pretty fucked up to see. Guy, you kill somebody pretty quick with bites.
There's a story that Boss Rutan tells. You know, Boss Rutan you can make the argument he's the first true mixed martial art that took everything. And he was teaching a jiu-jitsu class, and like these black belts of like kung fu came as a female and some other guys. And as he's teaching, they're kind of laughing and stuff, and they're really kind of like doing one of those. And it came to like a rear naked choke, and they're just kind of laughing. He's like, "What are you guys laughing about?" He's like, and there's the female. She goes, "I would just bite him," and he's got to let go. He's like, "All right, we're gonna do something, okay?" And he gets behind her and starts holding. He's like, "You tell me when to go. You bite me, and I'll break your neck, okay?" We'll go. And he said she got up and laughed and didn't come back.
That's funny.
But you just go to the end of this one. It was just more of a.
There's been stalking going on here, measuring each other.
I want to see where he bites him.
I don't know if it's really visible because there's a lot of this.
Yeah.
So you can see.
I remember this where he's tapping and he won't quit.
He's on the back, and Gerard is in a lot of trouble. Now, what Royce is going to do is try to get Gerard to raise his neck. I bet he slaps in the back of the neck a couple of times, Bill. Yep.
See, again,
hands underneath.
He's biting right there.
Major part of fighting. People do not understand that this is very strong.
There's got to be a great choke.
Look at him. He's going to screw you.
Holy shit.
He wants to make sure the referee sees that this is over, Bill.
Yeah, he really wanted to make sure the ref saw that.
There's a fighter named Babalu that kicked out of the UFC for that. There's a guy who he was fighting that they had bad blood, and he didn't let go. And it was about like that much. It looked a little bit worse because there was blood all over the mat and stuff. They kicked him out of the UFC and basically you'll never fight here again.
And he never did.
No, never did. He kind of went in one of like smaller shows, was killing people. It's kind of a sad story. I guess now he can't even walk a straight line just because of the head trauma and all of that. Yeah, and I'm sure he's only made a couple $100,000, not enough to retire off of. Brutal. The poor guy can't walk a straight line now. But.
Well, speaking of that, man, watching this little videos, it's interesting to see like punches to the back of the head, a kick when the guy is down. All these rules are probably good for saving life.
Yeah, when I first started, it was 2004, 2005, so 15 years ago. And nobody knew what this was. And there's a guy I was doing jiu-jitsu with that back then was already doing it for a long time. And we would go to this shitty bar, and there'd be fight nights there. And it was like every Thursday. Like every Wednesday was like amateur strip night, and every like Thursday was amateur fight night. And they would basically like, we would go there, and they just announce like, it's amateur fight night. You have like bikers in there that are drunk, be like, I'll go in there and fight. I remember one time my instructor getting someone's back and having his hooks in and just dropping like what they call 12 to 6 elbows on the back of his skull and the back of his neck.
Oh my God.
Some drunk fat guy.
Some poor son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. Yep.
Jerry Brunigan, if you're watching, hi, buddy. It was pretty funny.
Well,
yeah, the game's changed a lot. But, they're finding out, like, boxing. You have people that died in boxing, of course. There was tons of stories. UFC, knocking wood, you haven't had anyone die from fighting. You've had some people in lower ones die from the weight cutting. The weight cutting, they've got to change. It's terrible. You've had people die there. But they're finding out that, like, bare knuckle boxing is getting big right now. They're finding less head trauma and broken hands in bare knuckle boxing than the UFC, and less
because no kicks
in the UFC compared to boxing. What they're thinking is because boxing has those big gloves, and like you get knocked down in boxing, they give you a 10-second count, and so you shouldn't be going back out there. You just got rocked. You can't see straight, and then you go back out there. Whereas UFC, they just let it keep going. Well, bare knuckle boxing, because you have nothing protecting your hands, you're not throwing 100% to the head over and over. A lot of times you're doing body shots or open hand strikes and stuff.
Interesting.
So they're finding less trauma in the bare knuckle boxing.
That's funny. You wouldn't think that. It's kind of counterintuitive, but makes sense.
Now, you said Tank Abbott before. I think he was the first one to actually wear gloves in the UFC, by the way. I think he's kind of, now you have to. I mean, everyone has to, the fingerless gloves. I think he's the first one that did it.
I loved watching his fights.
Oh, they were the best.
Until I got too old.
Yeah, until then they were just awesome.
Yeah. Well, I want to show this one weird fucking video, Garrett.
This might be a nice segue into our conspiracy theory stuff, and we're going to do that.
So let's just
go in an hour. We'll see.
Right. We'll do this weird video, and then we'll do the conspiracy theory today. But look at this. This is from 4/4/2019 on Project Runway. First, she tells him.
Did you mind putting your mask back on? Thank you. I had not noticed COVID's detail, this 3D algorithm.
Come on, this is weird to me.
What do you guys think of this mask?
Mangos, you used to watch this. What the hell's happening here?
You must be hot. You should probably take the mask off.
And they even say they think his outfit is sick. Watch this.
It's sick.
What do you think of his mask? It's sick. This dude's name is COVID. Or the designer's name is COVID. And he has a fucking weird face mask in 2019.
What are the comments saying about this?
Good question. Whomever suggested a mask for him to design had the scoop. Put that person in Gitmo. I'm sure they all say, how crazy is this? How fucking nuts is this?
Yeah, you're right. It looks like a conspiracy talk, really.
Yeah, it's great for conspiracy. Plandemic, predictive programming. It's hard to argue with that. I mean, look, it might just be some weird coincidence, but boy, that's crazy.
Maybe I'll stop watching. All right.
Anyway, that's weird.
What do you think? Should we get into crazy conspiracy theory? Should we haven't covered much yet, but yeah, we'll just get into that and do another show soon. Yeah, let's do it.
Time for a crazy conspiracy theory. Oh boy.
All right, guys. Today we are talking about Kenny Veach.
Yep.
So Kenny Veach is a avid hiker and survivalist, amongst others. And this all started, nobody knew who he was. He was just another guy. He had a small YouTube channel, but he was avid in like the other hikers and stuff in YouTube. He was avid in like commenting on their stuff, all of that. And it all started with this first video. Do you want to bring up the Area 51 video? He lived kind of in the desert-ish by Area 51. More specifically, which airport is it? Airport Ellis, I think it is. It's kind of the middle of a lot of the conspiracy theories. Go down to video that Veach commented on. Right there.
Okay.
So there's nothing really mind-blowing about this video. I want to show you guys kind of the theme of this almost.
Okay, should I play this?
Yeah, for a little bit. Maybe we'll skip around a little bit. But as you can see, there's a guy talking about Area 51 and basically special energy type stuff. I think he even gets into aliens and stuff. He says his dad worked for 51 and all this with energy.
His name is Paul A. Utes.
Is this Kenny Veach?
My father.
Nope, this is not Kenny Veach yet.
I was first of all raised in Quad.
You know what? Just go to the middle of this. I just want to show you guys this is a conspiracy type video, really.
To Dreamland, and one of the rules he told me is that nothing comes out of there. This is
talking about
in there, stays there,
around Area 51 and these energy machines, and like you said, nobody comes out of there once they're going, that sort of thing. So then, there's nothing really. I just want to show you guys. This is kind of what made it big. There was a comment on this. Like, if you go look how many views are on this video now. There's
almost 3 million.
3 million. And it is a nothing video. It would have had almost zero if it wasn't for this.
I don't know what this is about, but
so, and you'll see most of these comments are about Kenny Veach. So Kenny Veach came across this, and he left a comment. Go back to your email real quick.
Okay. Whoops.
I would show you where it is there, but the comment has been deleted, and not by Kenny Veach, or I'm guessing not by whoever whose ever video that
really
is.
That's interesting.
Yes.
So I assume this is it, Veach comment.
Yep. Because dead YouTube accounts that people haven't logged into for decades and stuff, their comments are still there. Those don't just go away. And people have went through every single comment there, and it is not there. So click on this. I'll show you what this comment here says. This started it all.
Okay.
So this is him. So Snake Bit McGee is Kenny Veach. Like I said, he's a hiker. He's an outdoorsman. He kind of do the survivalist type of thing. And so he went on this video of a guy talking about the energy, because he's around this area. And can you make that bigger so we can see it again, Nate, so I can read this? So he says, "This ain't nothing. I'm a long-distance hiker. One time during one of those hikes out by Nellis Air Force Base." So that's kind of conspiracy theory for Area 51, aliens. It's all around Nellis Air Force Base. "I found a hidden cave. The entrance to the cave was shaped like a perfect capital M. I always enter every cave I find. But as I began to enter this particular cave, my whole body began to vibrate. The closer I got to the cave entrance, the worse the vibrating became. Suddenly, I became very scared and hightailed it out of there. That was one of the strangest things that ever happened to me." So he's basically saying, this guy talking about this energy and aliens, it's nothing compared to what he saw.
That's a weird comment. Okay.
Yes. So, this wasn't a very big video. It's got millions of views now. But that's because of Kenny Veach's, the story I'm going to get into. But because of this, there's a lot of people that were like, wait, tell us more. You're bullshitting us. We don't really believe you. And there was a big conversation, basically. And basically they were goading this guy going back out there saying, it's bullshit, you're lying. He said, no, I'm not. I was just super scared. You guys don't understand. My body was really vibrating. And one comment, I think I even found it. Do you want to go back to your email?
Okay.
Go up to Kenny.
Cave found?
Nope, not quite yet. Go towards the top of your email. There it is. Comment on, just click on that one. This is just one of the comments on here that was here. This one's deleted too, by the way.
Oh, really?
And it basically says, no, do not go back there. If you find that cave entrance, don't go in. If you do, you won't get out.
Whoa,
and Jenny said
that's...
something like, laugh out loud, why would you say that? What do you mean? And the guy never said anything ever again. And he just kept saying, what do you mean? Why won't you say anything? And that's it. That comment you can't find anymore other than...
Hey, what's up, crack party?
Hey, we gave you a shout out earlier in the show. You're just in time. We just got to it. Man, we've been at it for like 2 minutes. We're talking about Kenny Veach. He's a outdoors guy that found a cave that supposedly made him really scared. And he commented on an Area 51 type of video saying that he found it and made him scared, so he left. There it is. We can show crack party.
Yeah. So here's a comment he left on a video. Just saying he found a weird cave. Okay.
Basically saying it made him feel terrible. He was vibrating all of this. And a bunch of conversation happened afterwards. People telling him to go back there. They didn't believe him. It's bullshit. He says, I know exactly where it is. I could go back. And then we just got on show when you came in, a video of someone saying, don't go back. If you go back, you're not going to get it back out. These comments are all deleted, by the way. So go down to Veach's first video.
Okay.
He kind of gives a bit of an update here anyway, kind of.
Original video?
Yep, that one. So this is Kenny Veach.
Well, here I am on my hike up here in the mountains north of Las Vegas. This is a canyon I just walked up in. Now you can't tell, but my truck is way out there by the mountains at the very, very end of this valley. It's kind of like a big canyon. On the other side of these mountains, I'll show you in a second, is the bombing range, the Nellis Air Force bombing range. They do a lot of practice stuff out there. This is an old mine, and there's a hole here that just goes way down. I'll show you that. And then the last time I came up here, I hiked up to the top of what they call Gas Peak, and I spent the night. It was a 2-day hike, and then I hiked all the way down to another valley over here and went past this mountain range you see on my right, all the way back out to the flat desert. Now, the camera doesn't pick this up very well, but it's a long way. And I just romp around out here, do some solo hikes, and have some fun. My mission today is to just do a 1-day hike. It's about a 10-hour hike. I got to still go over another ridge and then go all the way down a big crevice. It's real narrow and gets kind of scary. And I'm looking for a cave that I found, and I didn't have a sidearm when I was here before, and something about that cave just spooked me. Out of all the caves I've ever gone in, this one just made my body vibrate. The closer I got to it, the crazier my body felt, and I was like, all right, I'm not going to go in there right now, but I'm coming back someday. And I talked to some people on YouTube, and I told them, hey, I'm coming out here, you know, because they kind of called my hand on it. So I don't know if there's going to be anything to it, but it might be interesting. If I can find it, I got to relocate it, and this is a big mountain range I'm in, and I'm on foot, you know. My truck's way out there. There's no roads, there's no trails. It's a pretty rough terrain. So hopefully I'll find it. It's shaped like a big M. It's a big cave that looks just like a gigantic M, and it's about as tall as I am and kind of narrow, and it's stuck on the side of a mountain. So I hope I can find it again.
What the fuck?
If I do, I'm going in there. I'm gonna.
So he claims he goes in every cave he ever finds except for this one. And there is a lot of caves out here. A lot of them are man-made, people finding ore and all that, are natural, of course. And he is really close to that Ellis Air Force Base and Area 51. It's kind of an interesting video to watch. You guys can go back and watch it. It's the last time he's on video, I believe.
20 minutes long. Okay.
It kind of, he does survival type stuff. He gives tips as he's going, and he finds some food and says, these are really good. I load these up and I bring these home and all this. Go to about 1540.
Here's 1530.
Let's do there.
It's shaped like it's shaped just like the letter
pause it
M.
really quick. I should say what he's
oh,
doing.
is this it?
He's explaining exactly how to get there. And the whole time, he knows exactly where he's at. He's like, all right, up around here, we're going to take a turn. This is getting narrower. This is going to be over on our right over here and stuff like that. So he's not lost. He knows exactly where he's at. Pay attention at around 1544-ish, though. He does say something like, and then you got it right over here. I could have sworn, but just keep going, and I'll show you why that's later, why it's important.
So, lots of little caves and stuff along here, and it's about level with the ground, like in an area like this. So I really got to keep my eyes peeled because I don't want to pass it. You know. And then there's caves like that. You know. I'm not going up there. There's caves. There's actually caves all over the place up here. It's a really cool place. If you want to come spelunking, this is the place to come spelunking, man.
So,
damn, dude, this is like the Blair Witch Project. You know?
It has that feel.
Yeah, it does.
Kind of a little bit older camera.
I'm worried for this guy.
Yeah. So, like I said, the respite is pretty interesting. But basically, long story short, he gives out. He basically says, I swear it was right here. I can't find it. I swear it was here, though. I know I'm going to get shit on YouTube. Maybe I'll come back a different day. And then he goes and starts hiking back to his car. End of story. But basically, he is walking us through this video step by step how to get there. He's calling it for. He's like, all right, we're going to round this. And he knows what's going to come up. So it's kind of weird that he can't find it. So he gets home, posts this up on YouTube. Like I said, he doesn't have very many videos. He only has 5 videos total. But he was just more active in like the commenting and talking to people on YouTube. Almost use kind of like a chat room or a forum, kind of. So then later, if you go back to your email, a different hiker kind of says, that's weird. I'm going to go and try to find the M cave.
Yeah. Okay.
So go to
cave found.
Yep, click that one. So this guy, I guess you'd almost call him a fan. By this point, the cave is starting to become, like, this is years later. It's 2019. The cave is starting to become a like pop culture type of icon.
Did Kenny? Well, okay, go on.
Yeah, but we'll talk about it later.
All right.
But other people went out to find this. He's just one of the YouTubers that I found did this. Click play on this. So you can just go to like 92 and a half minutes. Go back, or shit, my shorthand was wrong. Try 53. Try about 53 minutes. Yeah, do it right there. That'll be good. Yep.
Soot on the roof, or ceiling, I should say, of that cave. Hey. Okay.
So this guy went out to look for M cave.
Yep, and he found basically the exact same path that Veach was talking about.
Cool.
You want maybe go ahead just a little bit.
Yeah, we camped out right in here somewhere.
Where do you think?
Might even have been this flat area.
Go right around.
I see.
Keep going a little bit more.
There's a cave.
Yeah, all this right here is pretty suspect.
Right, go to 103.
But let me get over to the real reason why I'm here.
Yeah, do 103.
Beside me, you have this sort of orange.
You want to go a little bit earlier? Sorry.
That's kind of growing in the
kind of disjointed here. I wrote down wrong, I think.
102?
Basically, this is where, on the last video, where Veach kind of even says, he's like, I thought it was right back here. This guy went there and found this. And he's basically saying, wait a minute, these rocks were placed here.
Holy shit. This is going to be awesome, dude.
Yeah, he says this is covered up. And he's talking about it. He's going over it. And he'll just I'll let him play.
So this does look kind of
M-ish, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it is about as tall as Veach was, maybe a little bit shorter. But I think he just found this. And he even kind of brings it up like, this is right where Kenny said it should be.
Oh, this is going to be freaking trippy, dude.
And he finds like some different colored rocks. It looks like it was shoved in there. And he even finds where it looks like the rocks were kind of pulled out of. And he can actually see in there. He takes his camera and zooms it in there, too.
What?
And he kind of like putting his ear up there and he's saying he could hear stuff, that sort of thing.
What, people screaming? Aliens? Dude, how weird would it be if they went and covered this cave up because Kenny left a message about it on YouTube?
Yep. Yeah. You know, you can even go ahead like a minute or so, you'll see him talking about, and he'll be like moving around some of the rocks and stuff. You go right around there.
Aren't really matching up. They're really two different colors.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
And he finds something that almost looks like it was like plaster type of stuff too, sealing it.
But it's a little closer. Still, it's kind of suspect. And then you got down here where there's like a sealant. It seems it's just too flat. Right here, where it hits this, and then just like in that cave over there beside me, you have this sort of orange lichen stuff that's kind of growing in the crack. But there's no, like, why is that growing there? And why does this look so like manufactured? It looks like there was some kind of...
So he's here for a while. He starts like pulling at loose rocks and shaking some.
Or maybe
and it does seem to be that I think you could make the argument that this is put together, really.
All right.
And then once you've had enough of this, I mean, you just could go and watch this. He actually like sees into there. It looks like goes deep.
So it does kind of look like a cave behind that.
Looks like a cave behind that. Yes.
Dropped it here. And it's resting on the ground.
And it is kind of where Kenny said that cave was. Kenny got there and goes, that's kind of weird. I don't see this here.
What's he going to say about it?
I'm looking at this right here. What the heck is that?
I don't know. A big rock?
Yeah, I think there's some geologists out there.
So, but like a hiker would know more than me. I don't know shit.
Yeah. I could make out an M there, and I could see how that looks like it'd be different colors.
Yeah, when he's like, this looks weird to me, I'm like, okay, I could kind of see what you mean, I guess.
Skip ahead to about 1 hour, 15 minutes.
Out of here.
So he left.
So for the record, the M cave did exist, I think. And I believe it was right there. Right where Kenny feels it was. As he's saying, it was right here, kind of low to the ground, like this. You know when you're back at the same spot, he could feel it. He was here. But it had changed. The freaking terrain changed.
Dude, that does look how black the rock is above it.
I know. And this is the guy, like, he was not lost when he was going there. He knew exactly where he was going. He knew the landmarks. Go ahead. Kind of go drag down.
It really does. If this was a video game, I would know to put my bomb right here.
If this is Zelda, you're bombing that.
I'm bombing that, and it's blowing up. Okay. Now what?
Go drag ahead just a bit until you get to right. Go back a little bit. Right about. Yeah, go here. That's good enough. Right there. Basically, I don't want to ruin the surprise.
Should I
I
play
don't want to
it?
ruin the surprise. You just play it. I don't know if we go.
I gotta keep going.
He gets attacked by aliens.
It's a black and yellow bird of some kind.
So basically, he gets sicker and sicker as he goes. He starts throwing up a bunch.
No way.
So he's getting sick, and he's videotaping himself puking, essentially.
Oh, no way.
Yep. So Kenny Veach has not been seen since. He went back out to look for the cave.
That's what I knew you were going to say that, dude.
Yes.
Fucking
And not only
shit.
that, there's been a lot of search parties for him. And the only thing they have found is his cell phone. And they have his path until the cell phone. He obviously had a lot of gear, backpack. None of it's there. He's got a cell phone, and it's close to a mine shaft. But they said they could tell he did not go into the mine shaft because they could tell by how it was not disrupted and all of this stuff. But they kind of like said when they found that stuff, we got to start looking elsewhere because he's definitely not here in our trailhead. So he's not here. So they didn't know what to really do. But, you've seen like his hiker shorts. And later to talk to his girlfriend, she was saying it's obvious that his phone didn't fall out of his pocket. It was definitely put there by him or somebody else. But that's the only thing they've found of him. To this day, there's been tons of people that like go out and make a pilgrimage and look. They had helicopters looking.
That's terrifying. That's terrifying.
They looked enough to find his cell phone. So now it's kind of becoming a little bit of it's a niche one, but this is becoming, at least in the hiker area, the area around there, becoming more of like a legend of Veach and stuff. Go to the next video I sent you, the eyeball one.
So when was he last seen?
About 2 months or so after that video he put up, I believe it was.
Do you know when that was? 2000.
You could go look again because that is the original video. That's his account is still up. All of it's up. All of his videos, all of his other accounts, other of his comments. Somebody
2014.
Somebody deleted his comments about the cave making his whole body shake, and the comment of the guy saying, "Don't go back in there, you'll die." Basically.
What?
Those comments are deleted.
Fuck?
And nobody knows who. It's obviously not him.
Dude, this is super interesting. This is
really
really
is,
weird.
right?
This is a really weird mystery. I want to see this dude start puking, man.
Cool. We might have. You could kind of like, there you go there even and stuff.
Why is he? I mean.
But this is happening like for about 15, 20 minutes. Like you go back and he's done it. You go ahead and he does it. He basically claims he's getting sicker and sicker as he's there.
Right. This dude he's looking at the camera and stuff like, look, I'm sick from this. Isn't he? He's like, why am I so sick?
Throw up face looks like. Oh, I'm dry heaving.
How does he explain it? Do you know?
I do not.
Dude, it makes me think of like radiation poisoning stuff. Like
I'm gonna get into that stuff too a bit. There's some theories.
Okay.
About what happened. All right, go to your email.
Oops.
This is just kind of a weird one, but I know nothing about caves and hiking and stuff. So of course, people are go to the eyeball one. People are taking his video and looking real close at him and stuff.
Hi, welcome to.
And for this one, you can basically switch to a minute 54. This guy's kind of talking. But go to a minute 54. I don't want to ruin any surprises. That's good enough right there. Yep. And just watch what.
Deep at all.
This is the last guy we saw.
Shot it.
This is the same guy?
Yep.
Okay.
Earlier in his video.
It's not a cave. That's really gnarly though.
Is that hole?
Yeah.
Watch it.
What the fuck was that? Spider or
Did you
something?
see that?
That better been a spider or something.
Okay.
All right. Now I'm freaked out.
So if you didn't.
Yeah, I think it was November-ish, crack party, and I think he almost had the opposite issue where he would get super fucking cold.
What is that?
Oh no, I don't know enough about it. But it's just kind of weird. They're out here looking and they see this hole. People are trying to say it's an eyeball. I think it's a stretch to say it's an eyeball.
It doesn't look like an eyeball.
No.
It looks like something moves and almost comes out and goes back in.
So after looking at the replay footage
What's this guy
a few
think?
times now, it should be clearer to see. Now, I know the quality isn't great, but I didn't record it, you know what I mean? So, looking at the video, it seems to appear that when Sean approached that shallow M cave and made comment on that keyhole at the back, that is when whatever it was appeared and covered mostly of that hole. It didn't stick out, it was pressed against it, like an eye looking through. Maybe it was some thing or human.
That's what it looked like to me too, Miggles.
Scouting,
Should be.
spamming. Because normally, if you get too close to something and you make comment and speak out, and whoever is...
Yeah.
So...
yeah, it kind of looks like an eye there, doesn't it? See that?
Kind of like... It almost looks like a non-human eye.
Yeah, it does. It does look like.
I guess there was some author that wrote a book talking about like the white aliens that are around this area, and then people are trying to say, "Look, this guy's talking about these white aliens. It's probably the white aliens that did this." So, because they have not found his body to this day, they found just his cell phone, which is kind of a weird thing to find. But
okay, so when I pause it right here, it looks like an eye. And I could see it looks like somebody pressing their thing. Who's at the door?
Shit, someone's there. Let's get out of here.
And then,
are we sure we blocked the M cave entrance?
but then it, then it doesn't look like an eye. Cause okay, there's nothing there at all, dude. Okay, nothing's here.
Yep.
A little bit of shit on the end here, but
which could be rock even.
Okay. So, if you didn't quite see it now...
fuck off, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to play this in slow motion one time.
Go.
Half speed. That looks like an eye. And then something's still there. I don't know. I'll have to watch that 200 times and decide what I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
So then there's, if you go back to the first video again, if you still have that open, his girlfriend leaves a comment, and it's a long rambling one, but it basically says she thinks he killed himself. Because he apparently said, I'm going to go look for the cave again. It's probably been overnight this time. And that's the last anyone ever heard of it. Basically, she says he killed himself, but people are trying to also say that this is weird. She is trying to call off the search for him, that sort of thing. So people started to suspect her, by the way.
Yeah. I immediately suspect her.
To go to the next video, there's people saying that they could hear a female's voice here. And, do you know what? On that first video, since you have that pulled up.
Yeah.
Maybe go to 14 minutes on this one. And listen closely before he laughs. There's people now going back into this video and saying, hey, there's people with him. I can hear people. I think his friends might have killed him and stuff.
Okay.
Kind of try to pretend that I'm running out or I don't have it, just so I can see how far I can actually go before I feel like I'm in trouble. That way, if I ever do get in trouble, I know when I should start panicking.
Well, right before he laughs, there's people that swear they could hear somebody laugh or say something there. They swear.
If I ever do get in trouble, I know when. I know.
I don't hear anyone else.
Me neither. But people swear they hear people.
I know
there.
when.
What the fuck? No, I don't hear anybody. I'll have to turn it up and stuff and listen again.
Yeah. So go back to your email. We're getting more and more far-fetched as we go on this one. But
female
and then
voice.
It's the same guy here. You could just go to 52 seconds. I hear a bird.
Hi, welcome.
But there's some people I think this is a female voice they're hearing on this one. And then they listen to his footprints and they try to say that's 4 people. There's somebody behind him, yada, yada. But if you go to like 52 seconds, you'll hear what they're trying to say might be a female voice. And they're trying to say it's his girlfriend.
Okay.
And it took me quite a while to get out of this mountain range. And I walked almost all the way back to the highway. And my girl...
Oh, I heard that.
Yep.
My girlfriend picked me up all the way back to the highway. And my girlfriend picked me...
He kind of does laugh a little bit there, and he brings up his girlfriend. So there's some people trying to say that he's not alone during this looking out for the M cave and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I think that might be all the videos I sent. We'll talk about. So he obviously thought he felt he says it numerous times, he feels vibration. I know that sounds crazy, but you kind of brought this up. Let me bring up. So the government has admitted that they've worked on something called the active denial system. And it was developed by the U.S. Army for area denial or perimeter security and crowd control. And it heats the surface of people's skin. And it was deployed in 2010. It was in the Afghanistan war it was used. And basically it works like a microwave oven where it just heats everything up. And it's supposedly harmless other than like the 0.1% of people get blisters. And this thing is real. You can look at it. But people have had this on. It says it will repel you. If hit by the beam, you will move out of it reflexively and quickly. You will for sure not be eager to experience it again.
Weird.
And just like you remember the people in Cuba, the ambassadors there, claimed they had like a subsonic frequency and stuff that was making them sick and everything. Do you remember that going on?
Yeah, I do know
that
you
was
say
relatively recently too. They
weird.
went to the hospital. They were having stuff. But basically, in addition, there's infrasound, a lower frequency sound, which may cause feeling of awe or fear in humans and make people feel vaguely that odd or supernatural odds or events are taking place. And there's a popular science article that talks about it because this is real stuff. And this is one person said about it. Almost any part of your body, based on its volume and makeup, will vibrate at specific frequencies with enough power. So it's not super far-fetched. I mean, he's around Area 51. We know Area 51 is real. The government admits it. You go trying to walk to Area 51, it's not going to happen. The idea of them having perimeter-type stuff around there is not too crazy for me.
Right.
And it is weird that YouTube removed this guy's comments, and there's millions and probably billions of dead comments on YouTube that haven't been removed, but that one has, and it happened.
They removed one specific comment about a secret cave.
Yes. And the one of the guy basically saying, don't go back. If you go back, you're not coming back out, essentially.
They removed that comment, too.
That comment is gone.
That is weird.
Yep. So it's not too far-fetched, I don't think, to think of that. Another one is, they dump radiation in hills, in underground areas. That's known. So you kind of brought that up, the whole radiation. That's another theory. That was radiation, but the government got wind of it, so they went and covered that area up and that sort of thing. Obviously, aliens is a big one. There's another weird one. There's a theory that a magazine came out with, and Snopes actually picked it up and looked into it, that basically they were trying to make the argument that Kenny Veach doesn't exist, that this was all a hoax.
Holy shit.
Yes, and they were saying the girlfriends, they said that comment was a weird one and stuff, so she thinks that is somebody on this, in on it and stuff like that. If you go to they use his YouTube channel, so if you even go to like Snake Bick McGee or whatever, the M Cave, if you go to there, he's got some weird videos. There's one where it looks like he's auditioning for, go up on that one. That's a comment, so just go up to the top. Click on, Snake Big McGee. And then this doesn't really go into the conspiracy. Go to, like...
Shark Tank submission?
He's just got... And their argument was like, well, this isn't how you submit to Shark Tank. You send it through an email. I'm guessing he had to host it somewhere first to send it to. He doesn't seem like a super technological guy. But he's got, if you click on it and watch it, it almost seems like it could be a little bit of a prank. But you could skip ahead.
Hello, people of Shark Tank.
It's crazy because I'm going to watch all this shit. I'm going to look into this, man.
Russian Havana Center attack. Is that the Cuba one that you're talking about?
It must be.
Hey, my name is Kenny Veach, and get ready because I'm going to show you a few things about myself, and I'm going to let you know just what I do, what I am, and I designed this whole thing, packaged it. I made 500 of these babies sitting in my garage waiting to be sold. So, and this is something, when you whistle into a pine stick.
He just bent a pipe and took fishing line and wrapped up fishing line. So they're trying to say look, this is a
parody
this
account.
Is a hoax, and it's kind of a parody. They're almost throwing it at you guys. But they said Snopes looked into that, trying to find, and Snopes kind of came inconclusive on that. But the article I was reading later had to come out and say one of their biggest thing was if somebody goes missing hiking there, it would be big national news. Not only that, the fact that there's some quasi supernatural stuff would make it blow up, and it hasn't. But then the conspiracy theorists come and say, well, it has it because the government is basically hiding this.
Yeah.
And in the Patriot Act, when the Patriot Act passed, if you look at it, there's a pretty devious statement in there basically saying that the government could feed fake news to the media and they have to play it. And they do the whole, we're going to use this to keep our special forces safe by throwing people off. But they also say that if they tell them they can't report on something, they can't report it. It's on the Patriot Act's a terrible act. We both know that.
Yeah.
And it kind of gives them power for that. So I think if anything, that would almost lend credence to something's weird here. Why hasn't the story taken off yet? You see missing people a lot less convincing than this kind of go missing. But the article I was reading came back and said there's too much evidence. His house is still registered under him, which people are saying is weird because he's a missing person and dead. Why is his house still registered under him?
Yeah, so he's just been gone for 6 years.
Yep. Another theory is he got into some debt because one of his videos is him trying to sell his house. The theory is he got in some debt and didn't go out to kill himself, but basically to fake his death. And that's why he left his cell phone and he went and he's living another life. So kind of like the Johnny Gosh thing. Now there's people going through like, look, this looks just like Veach. This is Veach right here. So those are the big major conspiracy theories. But there's definitely some.
I'm gonna rabbit hole this. I'm interested in this. I'm gonna find out as much as I can about it. It's fucking
it's weird how they just found his cell phone. I mean, there's some weird parts of this. I think one of the weirdest parts is how his comments were deleted.
Yeah, that's really weird. That's really really
I mean, there's dead accounts that don't have comments deleted. And his definitely, you'll see people say like, I read all 2,000 comments on this video. There is no Kenny Veach comment on this.
Well, let's go to the M Cave, Garrett. Should we go?
I'd be up for it. We wanted to do I think we could go do a couple lives as we're walking there and stuff. I'd for sure be in.
You got a family, man. You better not.
I'd still do it. Yeah, I'd just make sure the weather's nice.
We're gonna see an alien eyeball tell us to go away.
But it was a fun one to research. I mean, he seems like a upbeat, creative, fun guy. And he did talk about, though, speaking of UFC, when we talked about the UFC for so long, there was a UFC fighter named Evan Tanner who was a 185-pound champion for a long time. At the time, thought of was one of the best fighters ever. Well, he left his prime right when UFC was getting big. He was like the dark age of UFC where they didn't make any money. So he was completely broke, and he gave his body to the sport. He used to go and do survival stuff. And he brought a journal basically saying, I'm doing my toughest survival ever. I'm going out to the desert in the middle of summer. I'm not bringing any water. There's a chance I don't make it. And he went out there and died. And there's a lot of people that think he went out and committed suicide. Basically went out there not to just kill himself, but to see what happened type of thing. Like, I have a small chance of living. Let's see what's happened. He died. They found his body, though, and they found his journal and everything, unlike Veach. But he was a depressed guy that knew what he's doing and went out and died. There are comments of Veach makes in that first video where he says, he's like, look, this gets brutal. There's times I've been out for 3 days, and I've come back, and it takes me days to get back to normal. I lose 15 pounds of fat. My fingernails and toenails fall off. My fingers turn black due to the cold and all this. So
that sounds like radiation again.
True. So I mean, it's not
especially if his fingernails falling off.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that can happen from extreme hiking, but
I think so.
It can also happen from radiation poisoning.
But if that was the case, then where the hell's his body, and why is his cell phone just sitting there?
Aliens ate him.
Yes.
Well, what do you think, Garrett? If you've got to give some theories about what
so
you
I guess his dad killed himself when he was young, and he did suppose this is all based off that girlfriend's comment, and he was the one that discovered him. So apparently he did say something like, if I kill myself, I'm going to make sure nobody ever finds me. Just because I think that was a scar for him. But
that would be a hard thing to pull off, except to like throw yourself in the ocean or something.
Yeah, almost impossible. Yeah, especially out in that area. I mean, that's still a patrolled area. It's close to 51.
Yeah,
and they have his tracks all the way to that cell phone.
And
so look, I don't know.
If you were going to drop your body down a mine shaft, That might be one way to try to not be found, but you wouldn't throw your phone right outside of it first.
Yep.
Like that seems
I don't even know. I
pretty
mean, they
suspicious
found
to
his car and stuff, and there was nothing suspicious about his car. So yeah, I don't know if I'd buy that one.
This is a weird Blair Witch story here.
Yep. And, you know, people did know he was going out there. I'm sure the government knows. I mean, maybe he did go and stumble upon something he shouldn't have seen. You know? Maybe he's in the witness protection thing type of thing, and he is still alive.
Yeah. Maybe he's in an alien spaceship right now, and they're like, well, you can never go back. Yeah. Weird.
Bob Lazar playing poker with some aliens. Yeah, it's a weird case.
Garrett, this has been another excellent, crazy conspiracy theory.
Well, thank you. This is a fun one to do and a fun one to read about.
Unreal.
Like I said, I don't know this. Yep.
Unfucking real. I'd never heard of this. This is
really
fascinating.
I do like the ones where, you know, we have the crazier aspects, like that being an alien eyeball and all this, and the government taking them. But I like the ones that do have mystery. Like I think I've said this before, the Britney Spears one. I think that she's basically a wage slave right now, and I think that there's a chance, of course, that this guy went and died, and they just haven't found his body. But it's almost becoming in that like community, kind of like how you said, "Hey, let's go find the M Cave." It's kind of turning into a little bit of like a pilgrimage for people, and they still haven't found him. You could tell, like soon after he went missing, his girlfriend in that comment even talks about, yeah, I know people are going out there and yada yada, but I would think he would be found.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to read all this later.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyway, unreal. What the hell?
We did almost 2 hours, and we only called and reported Cuomo once. I guess we'll have to save more of that for next show.
We can do that every day, so anytime we want. Well, this was a great show.
Listeners do the same and send in the video.
Yeah. Make sure that's a great idea. Call the tip line and report Cuomo. Call California's and report Newsom if there is one. I hate these
All right, guys.
governors.
Thanks for listening. Obviously, we did it a little bit different. We kind of went over just more fun shit today. I think it was a really fun show.
Yeah, it was. Talked a lot about UFC and Kenny Veach.
Yep.
All right, Garrett. Well, great job, man. Great conspiracy theory.
Thank you. We got more in the hopper that are going to get more and more interesting. So
yeah, we got a bunch lined up. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. All right, peace.
Yeah, had to come through and let you know. Keep it locked, this is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. Truth bombs that many never knew. We talking politics, everything up to